Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Fabrizio Romano here as always to keep you posted on the transfer market. As I told you, I will keep you posted on more details about the market, on more updates we have. We have to talk about midfielders, and this is going to be a big focus of this video. We're also going to talk about Xavi Simons, about Nico Schlotterbeck. Let's jump into it together. Here we are, guys, always to keep you updated. Remember my last video released over the last couple of hours about managers. You can find it here on YouTube as always, regarding Michael Carrick, but especially regarding Roberto De Zerbi, Tottenham, the decisions following Igor Tudor decision made by the club. Tudor is gone, and now keep an eye on Roberto De Zerbi. But more to say on Manchester United. I told you we're going to talk about midfielders, we're going to talk about Sandro Tonali. In the previous video I told you with Bruno Guimaraes a meeting took place with the agency, but they are representing several players, nothing advanced at this stage with Man United. Marcos Llorente linked with Man United as well. There are some calls from Premier League, but the player is focused on signing a new contract at Atletico Madrid as soon as possible. For Sandro Tonali, the situation is different. Because for Sandro Tonali, what I've been telling you in the recent weeks is that for sure he's one of the names on Manchester United shortlist. Before Manchester United make final decision on who is, or better say, who are the midfielders they want to sign, because it might be two, considering the situation of Casemiro. Casemiro is leaving the club on a free, and so Man United are really considering the possibility to add two midfielders to their squad for next season, especially as expected they should be in Champions League football, and so obviously adding one more player could be important. Sandro Tonali is for sure really appreciated by Man United. But what's the situation around Sandro Tonali? First of all, Tonali is doing very well, not just for Newcastle in the recent months, but also for the Italian national team. A crucial goal last game against Northern Ireland, obviously a crucial moment for Sandro Tonali and for Italy, but also in terms of future with Newcastle. Newcastle also expect movement around Sandro Tonali this summer, and Newcastle know that the player could be open to making a new experience. In Italy, there is interest from Juventus, but for Italian clubs it's really complicated, really unlikely to be able to make it happen, so it's really complicated. For Premier League clubs, it might be different. Arsenal have an interest in Sandro Tonali, that's confirmed, but they never made any attempt to sign him in January because it was always impossible. So Arsenal keep following the situation, but at the moment, from Arsenal, still nothing advanced. Man United already confirmed their interest to the players' camp. So some contact already took place between Manchester United and Sandro Tonali's camp. So for sure Sandro Tonali is appreciated by Manchester United, and something is already happened to be informed about the player. Then there is nothing agreed, there is nothing advanced, there is nothing done, so it's still early stages. But Sandro Tonali for sure is high on Manchester United shortlist. Is a player appreciated, and it's a destination that for sure Tonali could eventually, if all parties are able to get closer, appreciate. Then I expect a big midfielders battle in Manchester this summer, because we mentioned Sandro Tonali for Man United, but Manchester City are also closely following Sandro Tonali. In this moment, I maintain what I told you 1 month ago. The name very high on Manchester City shortlist for the midfield remains Elliott, the midfielder from Nottingham Forest. Man City are very interested. Man City consider Elliott as a top player, and so Man City are on it for Elliott. They are really considering a move, and is a player they really like and appreciate. Then they don't want to disturb Nottingham Forest in the middle of a relegation battle, so nothing is changing now. But Manchester City are on it for Elliott, who is another player appreciated by Man United. So what's the situation as of today? Beginning of April, the situation is Man United strongly interested in Sandro Tonali and also liking Elliott, but Man City are pushing. Manchester City pushing and really liking Elliott, but also closely following the situation of Sandro Tonali. So the two clubs are watching similar players. In this moment, Man United really interested in Tonali with Elliott also on the list, and City really interested in Anderson with Tonali also on the list. So I'm telling you, if it was something like end of July, August, the feeling was going to be Man United, Tonali, Man City, Anderson. But it's too early. There are still things to clarify about managers for United and City, about more things around these players, because we cannot exclude that other clubs could jump into the race. For example, we said about Arsenal, keep an eye on Tonali and more. So it's still early stages before we say this player goes to this club. But that's the situation as of today. The market is starting to move and the battle of midfielders in Manchester is about to take place. Many questions I'm receiving in the last 24 hours also on Xavi Simons. Can Xavi Simons go to Barcelona? Many reports about Barcelona and Xavi Simons. Obviously, was not an easy season for Xavi Simons at Tottenham, but I think in some moments it's been a complicated situation for everyone at Tottenham this season, for managers, for the club, for the management, for players, of course. So we cannot say, it's Xavi Simons' fault. And I also believe that in some moments, for example, in Champions League, in some moments you can see the clear quality of Xavi Simons. So there are clubs still very interested in appreciating Xavi Simons, who is still very young. But at the moment, guys, on the exit of Xavi Simons from Tottenham, I don't have any information, any guaranteed information, so far, zero. And on Barcelona, these links taking place, I think will always be there when it's time to speak about Xavi Simons. Why? Because Xavi Simons was a player at Barcelona Academy, at La Masia. Xavi Simons, I told you also last summer, before he made his move to Premier League football, I told you, one day Xavi Simons dreams of playing for Barcelona. So that's for sure. It's the player's dream one day to wear a Barca shirt. But at the moment, there is zero ongoing between Barcelona and Xavi Simons. Barca are focused on different things. Barca are focused on the defender, on Alessandro Bastoni, on the striker, and more. So in this moment, between Xavi Simons and Barca, there is nothing ongoing. Anything changing, I will be here to tell you. And just to finish for today, Nico Schlotterbeck. Bild reported over the week about Nico Schlotterbeck closing in on a new contract with Borussia Dortmund. Well, that verbal agreement between Nico Schlotterbeck agency and Borussia Dortmund is almost done. New contract valid until 2031. Improved salary for Nico Schlotterbeck, one of the best earners in Borussia Dortmund and one of the best earners when it's about defenders in the Bundesliga. So a very important contract financially, and also including a release clause not for this summer 2026, but from summer 2027, in excess of 65 million euros. So everything is set to be completed between Nico Schlotterbeck camp and Borussia Dortmund. What's needed is the final green light from the player. Let's see when it's going to be. When Nico Schlotterbeck says, okay, for me this is okay, let's sign this contract, let's proceed. Borussia Dortmund are confident to keep the player. Real Madrid have been interested for some time, but never sent any official proposal. Liverpool never sent any official proposal, also because they signed Jeremy Jacquet in the January transfer window. And about Barcelona, many reports, but the target for Barca, the dream target, has always been Alessandro Bastoni. And so guys, let me hear your thoughts on all these stories from Sandro Tonali, Elliott Henderson. What's your feeling on these two midfielders? What's going to happen next? And then Xavi Simons, Nico Schlotterbeck, your opinion, guys. Here in comments, like this video, turn on the notification bell, subscribe to the channel. See you soon. Ciao.